Well, looks like it's been a very long time since the last Iceberg video. I want to thank you guys for so much support on the Iceberg video and, with all the new content we've gotten, why not go ahead and make another one covering some of the new topics. Figured once again, I should go over what an iceberg format is, if you've been living under a rock. An iceberg chart is a chart displaying information that is most known at the top, and the further down you go, the more obscure the information often gets. This iceberg is going to be somewhat shorter than our first iceberg, because most of the stuff is stuff I've already covered in the first video. Speaking of which, let's get that stuff out of the way real quick. Alright, recap time. So, in the new season, we've learned the theory that Ash is actually Dr. Reed has been proven. She was hired to infiltrate the group of scientists that were solving Olympus's current energy crisis to steal Branthium, and of course, she would get absolutely destroyed. Not once, but twice. Of course, the Sentinel hop-up we found in the last iceberg turned out to be the Dead Ice Tempo hop-up added to the game in Season 9. I thought I had a bit more on this list, but it turns out there's not too much to revisit. Just a fair warning that I'm going to be talking about some leaks ahead, as well as Pathfinder's quest spoilers, again. With that out of the way, let's dive deep. Strap in, grab a snack, and let's head on down. Actually, little disclaimer, sorry if I sound different in some of the recordings. Some of these were taken like a few months apart, so yeah, enjoy. The first layer is going to be information that most people will know about, so decent chance you'll know a lot, but hey, maybe you'll learn something new. Newcastle's Jackson. Newcastle, the game's newest legend, is actually Bangalore's long-lost brother, who entered the games after the real Newcastle died, as he was unable to pay his debts, or something like that. It turned out Jackson had gone under the name Lamont Craig for a reason that we don't really know yet, and preserved the original Newcastle's legacy. Bangalore and Newcastle, being siblings, also have a special finisher between the two of them, and one of their emotes sync up somewhat. Interestingly, this was also confirmed before Newcastle had officially been revealed, as subtitles during Bangalore's monologues in the Williams send-off would utilize Newcastle in place of Jackson in the Korean version. Legend-specific gun animations. In case you don't know, some legends have special animations for when you pick up a gun. Gibby has a special animation when he picks up the PK, Fuse has a special animation when he picks up the 3030, and Maggie has a special animation when she picks up the Mastiff. Rampart also has special animations for all LMGs, including her ultimate Sheila. Mythic Rarity. Recently, after Apex's 3rd anniversary, Heirloom Rarity is now called Mythic Rarity. Why? Because of a Bloodhound skin, I think. Regardless, it's called the Mythic Shop now, if you want to spend your shards on that Bloodhound skin. I don't know why you would want to, really, though. Valkyrie is Viper's daughter. This says it all. Valkyrie is Viper's daughter, and eventually joined the Apex games after he died to honor him, and hopefully claim her own legacy. She also blames Blisk for some reason for his death, even though it was me for the 5th time a few days ago. Rat. I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with Ash's rat. However, the little guy doesn't seem to have a name, and we know why. In a tweet, lead animator Moipara said, "Each one of these sidekicks has a particular relationship with each of their respective legends, usually one of affection and care. This time around, we wanted to stay true to the character of Ash, who wouldn't show much affection to anyone or care about naming her rat. Therefore, as we animated this little critter, we decided not to name it internally, so as to not accidentally start caring for it ourselves, and have this bleed through our work as we came up with ideas for Ash." So, I guess we're allowed to name whatever we want. If you have any good ideas, drop them in the comments, because I want to see. Mobile differences. With the recent release of Apex Legends Mobile, we found that the two have many differences that are apparent from just launching the game, some of which include a third-person view, team deathmatch, different skins, a firing range with moving bots, Season 3 World's Edge, some differences with weapon, ammo capacity, and damage, and more customizations to affect your character's abilities in-game. Fate is also a legend exclusive completely to the mobile version of the game, with more mobile exclusive legends possibly to come. With that, we're already past the first layer. Let's dive even deeper down to the next layer below the surface. Next layer down. For this one, I'm going to focus more on stuff that a decent amount of people know, but you're more likely to not know about it than things in the first layer. Dragon Ball reference. With Valk, there's a rare chance that after using her jetpacks, you could get an animation where she does a Kamehameha? Kamehameha?
Kamehameha!
Just another neat touch the devs added that I enjoy. Marvins contribute to Evo damage. This was added in the new season, probably because of the storm point changes where shooting prowlers and flyers adds to your Eva shield's damage counter. Crypto animation bugs. These are relatively popular right now, so I figured I'd just put it in this tier, but there's some bugs with Crypto where his animations just get mixed up. You could do it by emoting when you're about to exit Rev's totem form with one of the masked dancer skins. I don't know why this happens, but I want whatever Crypto has if it can make me act like that too, man. How Ashe lived. We all know that Ashe got absolutely crushed in Titanfall 2. Well, how's she even around now? How do we even rebuild her in Season 5? Turns out that in the Ashe to Ashes trailer, only her torso was crushed, so the majority of her body parts were still intact at the time. Launch Seer. Everyone knows about how overpowered and broken Seer was upon his launch at the beginning of Season 10. And for those who don't, I envy you. Seer initially had his tube thing deal 10 damage when you were hit by it, on top of disabling your abilities for a second, stopping your heals, and giving you a flash comparable to that of your average Valorant gameplay experience. His heartbeat sensor was also just free wall hacks, and you could sprint with it for some reason. Luckily, he was nerfed somewhat quickly, so we don't have to suffer with him on top of everything else in Season 10. Rampage! Boone. Alright, so for the last couple they've been really short, but I promise this one is much longer. Boone was, long story short, Bloodhound's former lover. They were someone that Bloodhound wishes they spoke to their uncle about, and was also a hunter of the Outlands, just like Bloodhound. Boone had a device that detected pulses, which Bloodhound modified to detect body heat, which Boone then gave to them. The two eventually got into an argument of whether capturing a creature that is hibernating for blood sports be ethical, with Bloodhound saying that they forbade it. Boone captured the creature and then left the planet. Eventually, Bloodhound found him in the Thunderdome with said creature, which then killed him. This death was deemed dishonorable and prevented him from entering Valhalla. Bloodhound fights in the games in his name, and possibly using his initial device as their scanner. With that, we have another layer done. We have only a few more to go, so let's dive deeper. This layer will focus a bit more on leaked content that has been leaked previously and is now in-game. However, in one entry I'm going to cover, I briefly mentioned some content that is currently not in-game, so I figured I'd just give a little warning there. Dragon LMG. Before the Rampage was officially released back in Season 10, there were numerous leaks of a specific LMG called the Dragon LMG being released. As we can see in this tweet by BS12, there is clearly a Rampage in the picture. However, the LMG used to take light ammo in the files. TF2 weapon leftovers. It turns out that in early builds of the game, some weapons and old models from Titanfall 2 are present within the game's files and still accessible in-game using a modder such as R5 Reloaded. Explosive weapon and leaked car voice lines. Back in around Season 7, voice lines surfaced for the car SMG as well as explosive weapons such as the Cold War, EPG, Archer RPG, Softball, and a grenade launcher. I used to think these were really nothing to look at, but with the car being added to the game in Season 11, it can mean that explosive weapons could be coming to Apex, unfortunately. Please respawn, I beg, we don't need the explosives, please, please, please. March 25th leaks. On March 25th, 2022, an anonymous Reddit user who we only know as BC_Steve_TTV uploaded a leak of projects that Respawn was keeping for release up until 2025. This leak included 9 legends, with their abilities including Newcastle, a new map, a reworked version of King's Canyon, 5 new weapons, including the previously accidentally leaked Nemesis, the leaked Williams send-off challenges before they were included, and Cryptos and Valk's heirlooms early. Many people have different feelings about leaks, and of course much of this is subject to change. I'm just wondering how this even happened. Maybe a rogue dev or something? R5 Reloaded. R5 Reloaded is a modded version of Apex Legends where you're able to adjust almost every variable in the game. Cooldowns, weapons, movement values, and more. I actually made a whole video on it, so if you'd like to learn more, link is on screen in the top right corner. Bangalore plot armor. In Bangalore Stories from the Outlands, Gridiron, during one point we see her get in a fight with an IMC pilot using a smart pistol, who then tries to shoot her while they are wall running. However, the shots miss, and many people just chalk this up to plot armor, and for a time there was a decent amount of backlash concerning the scene from Titanfall fans. However, it's likely that because Bangalore was also IMC affiliated at the time, the smart pistol didn't target her as an enemy and she just ended up surviving. Why'd I put this here? I don't know. I feel like explaining it because people just dismiss it as plot armor and I'm a nerd. Overtime backlash. Apex's comic series, Overtime, published by Dark Horse Comics, received a lot of backlash, primarily for the artwork. The art in the comics frequently traces over promotional material and has been accused of tracing fan art as well. It's also just really low quality in general. They also gave Octane legs, like alright, I'm just gonna unamputate him real quick, you know. Anyway, with another down, we have 2 more layers to go. Once again, let's go further down. Alright, layer 4. This layer is probably going to be focused a bit more on some lore tidbits that you wouldn't find in a game, and probably not without doing research yourself. Bloodhound's win count. Bloodhound actually has a canonical number of wins in the Apex games. How many, you may ask? A grand total of 3. 3 big ones. I'm pretty sure in the canon at least this is like a lot, so they gotta be a pretty good legend. Why Valk doesn't speak Japanese. Despite Valkyrie being half Japanese herself, some found it unusual that she would not speak any Japanese in the game itself. However, there's a canonical reason for this, which is that Valk cannot speak Japanese fluently. She is able to understand it and speaks it to her mother, but Valk doesn't feel comfortable speaking Japanese in public. This is just kind of an interesting tidbit of lore, but it's interesting we have an actual reason as to why she doesn't speak Japanese in the games. Seer in the arenas. Despite Seer not having much lore, we know that Seer has a long history with the arenas, as he has apparently been competing for 9 years, possibly before they became a part of the Apex games, because I don't know how the arenas would happen for 9 years. Seer found the arenas as his calling, and his fans adopted the message that curses don't bring them down, but rather a curse is something that they define themselves and not others. However, we still basically know nothing about him. Octane is motherless. Octane himself does not know his biological mother because his father remarries often. He calls his mom number 2, presumably because she was the second woman that his father married. His mother's been gone for most of his life, and we don't have a reason why. Crypto Dante. This is just an observation that Crypto's Devil's Advocate skin shares a resemblance to Dante from the Devil May Cry games. The skin may have been inspired off him, or his color palette, or it may just be a coincidence, as nothing has really been confirmed. Hailstorm LMG. The Hailstorm LMG is another leaked LMG in Apex. However, we know for a fact that it differs from the Rampage due to the Rampage previously being called the Dragon LMG and its development. It appears to hold an ungodly amount of ammo in a level 3 magazine. However, things may have changed since then. This also may be the Maelstrom LMG that was found in recent leaks, which looks just like an R99 with a really big magazine. Regardless, if they add another LMG into the game, I'm going to slam my head into a wall and toss myself out a window. Moon map. The next Apex Legends map is seen to be a moon map and is called Divided Moon. It's presumably coming out in Season 15. It appears to be in very early development, but since recently we have POIs found as well as just a few screenshots of the overall map. That's pretty much all. Well, one more layer to go. I think it's time to go all the way down to the abyss. Alright, we're on the final layer. Let's get right to it. SaveTitanfall.com. SaveTitanfall.com refers to a hack that occurred in Apex Legends on July 4th, 2021. People were locked out of playing the game itself and were only able to use the main menu. A splash screen read, SaveTitanfall.com. Titanfall is being hacked, so is Apex. Interestingly, Titanfall in this regard meant Titanfall 1 and not Titanfall 2, which had a major issue with hackers and DDoSers ruining the game and making it nearly unplayable. Interestingly, a Discord server called the Remnant Fleet, which was a Titanfall community, pushed back the idea that the hackers were actually linked to the website at all. However, it turns out that after a community investigation, a 40-page long document was released, containing tons of messages showing that those saying the hack was not affiliated with the site, specifically the users Red Shield and PO538, were working with hackers to attack Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends. This hacking group, led by PO538, was working in secret to break Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2 just to fix the issues they created in an attempt to either get hired by Respawn or find another way to gain access into Titanfall 1 source code. The plan's goal was to create a new port of the now cancelled game Titanfall Online, which was a port of Titanfall 1 aimed at the Asian market with some differences. Their Apex hack was used as a false flag attempt in order to get Respawn's attention. Ash is Pathfinder's mom. So, technically speaking, since Dr. Reed is one of Pathfinder's creators and Ash is confirmed to be Dr. Reed in her simulacrum form thing after she died, can we technically say Ash is Pathfinder's mom? The thing is, Pathfinder is called Ash's girlfriend in the past, so this opens a ton of new questions. Does Ash know she helped to create Pathfinder? Does she call Pathfinder Marvin because she knows she was involved in his creation, or does she not know? Does Path know that Ash is also Dr. Reed? Can Pathfinder be Ash's ex and creation? I don't know. Find out more at 5 PM. Seer is a filler legend. With how little we know about Seer and his presence within the lore, as well as the game as a whole, many believed he was put in the game only to fill a spot while Ash was finishing development. However, there may be a little bit of proof behind this. In head animator Moipara's video, Pilots vs. Legends, Who Wins?, he goes into his takes about whether a pilot or Apex Legend would win in a fight, as well as how he animated the select animation for Bangalore's Gridiron cinematic skin. In the character select screen next to Bangalore, we can see Ash next to Valkyrie, with Seer nowhere to be seen. However, there are more pics below in which Seer may be. This layer is most likely cut due to some unreleased legends being present, but you still can't have to think about it. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Bloodhound NFT. As the initial tweet has been deleted, I don't really have much stuff to go off of, but someone made an NFT of a Bored Ape and Bloodhound's gear and stuff. Bloodhound's voice actress, however, didn't take too kindly to this. The tweet and most likely the NFT itself have been taken down since. Off the grid passive is real. I'm pretty sure for most of us we all know about the absolute meme that is the idea of the off the grid passive for crypto, which is an idea that he would be immune to scans. But did you know this exists in the game under a very specific set of parameters? If a Seer attempts to scan a Crypto while Crypto is in drone mode and his drone is outside of Seer's Q ability, Crypto will not be scanned. Crypto can use this to avoid Seer scans if he has extremely good timing and knows the Seer is going to try to scan him. This is just a really weird interaction, and I'm not really sure why this happens. Mozambique name origin. The Mozambique is not explicitly named after the country of Mozambique, but rather the Mozambique drill, which is a military training exercise where one will shoot 2 bullets on a target's chest and one on the target's head. This way, the target will likely be incapacitated or dead. This goes along with the Mozambique's pellet spread, of 2 pellets landing on the target's body and 1 to their head while aiming at chest level. This is not explicitly stated as the origin of its name, but in my brain, it just makes sense. Octane livestreamed himself in a hostage scenario. This is more of a joke, but I want to put this in here because in the Lifeline stories from the Outlands, he says this and I think it's funny.
We're here in the midst of a wild hostage situation. Smash that like button!
Wanna join my free gift card giveaway?
Pathfinder fucks. The one I saved for last is interesting to say the least. When Jay Frechette, community manager, was asked if Pathfinder had any sexual encounters, he said that, quote, Pathfinder has been around for a very long time, and may likely have stories. So Pathfinder may have had sex? I don't know. Does he fuck robo bitches? I don't know. Again, find out at 5 PM. We're done. I'm over it. Oh my... Just for funsies, and because I forgot until the very end of editing and it's 4 AM, I have a bonus, the church room. The church room is a room that was previously accessible in the firing range by using bugs. It contains a really big orb containing a reflection of a church. This church texture is actually what's used for HDRI and reflections in game in order to give objects that reflective look. I guess this is kinda just where they store it. And with that, we actually come to an end. I hope this part 2 could have improved upon the first Iceberg, and I'm hoping to upload some more voiceover or essay content in the future, along with the gameplay videos and stream highlights, so subscribe if you would like to see that. Only a small percentage of my viewers are subscribed, so it would mean a lot to me if you did. And speaking of subscribers, thank you guys for over 500 on this channel. It's crazy that I've been able to accomplish this mark. We still have a long way to go, and I still have a lot to figure out, but I'm very grateful for all you guys. To celebrate this and hitting 300 followers on Twitch, I'm having a 24-hour long stream on my Twitch channel starting July 23rd, which I'll provide more information on in my Discord server, which has a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Peace out.